Welcome, my name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today, and this is our final project 25 in our 25 projects countdown to Christmas. Can't believe we've got here already. So we're going with a funky fold. It's not a poke out fold, it's just a little difference fold for the cards. By now you probably have made majority of your Christmas cards. Now this one is a quick one with some designer series paper. Gives you a little bit of a pow, and I think you're going to love this. So let's get down to the supplies. What have I got? So I have got, let's grab these. Okay, so I have a piece of crumb cake. Now that measures 8 inches by 5 3/4. It's been scored at the 4-inch mark, but we'll do some scoring on that. I have a piece of designer series paper. This measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I have a second piece of designer series paper. This measures 1 7/8 by 3 3/4. I have a piece of white cardstock for the inside. This is the same size as our designer series paper, which is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I have used 2 circle punches, one larger than the other, to create our focal point. I've used cloud cover for the larger and secret C for the middle. And I have also cut out a dove, which you would have seen if you've been following this week's projects. You would have seen the doves from the dies. And I've also got a long piece of foliage as well. So let's do the excuse me. Let's do the stamping first. No, let's do the scoring first of all. That would make far more sense. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our scoreboard and we're going to put our cardstock on the 5 3/4 inch line, and we are going to mark, but only mark a 2-inch notch just there. Okay, so there's the 2-inch notch. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on that one. We're going to do the same on this piece of designer series paper. We're going to turn it on the long side and we're going to find a 2-inch mark there. Okay, let's just mark it there. Perfect. I think that is all the scoring we need to do on those. Now I have got a metal ruler. You could use your trimmer or your scoring board. What I want to do is I want to score from the 4-inch score line down to this 2-inch. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way down. I'm going to score quite firmly down, and it gives me a score mark to the 2-inch right up to the 4-inch score line. I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to burnish it. You can hear the clip-clop of Arbella's paws. She's been sitting quite quietly, and now the video camera is on. She has decided to walk around. So you can see I've changed it around the other side, and then I'm going to close that up and burnish the 4-inch mark as well. So that is the fold. Okay, next we're going to take our piece of designer series paper and we're actually going to cut this. So we need our cutter. You're going to put this point into the run of the cutter here, and then your 2-inch cut mark, or your mark that you've got, which is this one here, into it as well. So you've got your edge all the way down. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it, put that away. I'm going to bring this up, pop it in the middle, push it down, and then I'm going to cut it back. That way I get the points. Okay, this piece is spare. While we have got our cutter out, you remember the piece that was 1 7/8 by 3 3/4? We're going to cut this. However, there is a special way of cutting it. we must, if you've got it in landscape, you must cut it from the top right hand corner down to the bottom left hand corner. So again, you need to get your edges, your right hand edge up the top and your left hand edge down the bottom. Make sure that they are in the grids, and then pushing the blade down, you're going to run straight across. Okay, and then you've got 2 pieces, which we will keep to there. Right, so let's bring in our piece of white cardstock. I'm going to pop that in with an edge all the way around. So I'm going to stick that down with my glue. I'm going to be very brave and do the stamping once this is down, and I will show you why in a second. I mean, you could just put it there as a, stick it, hold it down. But what I want to do is I want to stamp my Merry Christmas up here. And I'm going to use the pecan pie. Let's ink that up, push that down, yep. Okay, you're going to hold that down, work out roughly where I'd like it to go, and then make sure it's straight. There we go. So I have the Merry Christmas in the top right hand corner. You can close that down. So the piece of designer series paper that we cut earlier on is actually going to stick down here. What we want to do is we're just going to make sure we're positioning it in the right place. You're going to have a bit of an edge all the way around 3 sides. Okay, and that will fold down like that. So I'm going to use my stamp and seal for this. There we go. Perfect. I really love this paper. I think it is so pretty. Let's make sure that's all in the right place. Bring that down. Perfect. Now we can just burnish it in place. Now this is our right hand to our diagonal. You want the bottom piece, and that is going to sit just in this corner here, like so. If you had cut it the other way, it would not have worked. So you just needed to make sure you cut from the top right hand corner down to your bottom left hand corner. And this now can be stuck down with some glue. There we go. Turn this round, and then we can pop it down in place like so. Now you could leave this flapping. I have actually stuck mine down on this one, and I think I'm going to do the same again on this. So I'm just going to run a slither of glue down. There we go. Okay. And now we've got our circle to put in place. So what we want to do is, I think I laid it flat last time, so I'm going to put it on dimensionals this time. So I'm going to turn it over, or am I going to do it? Oh, do you know, decisions. I think I may lay that one flat, but put that one on dimensionals. Let's do that. So I'm going to put glue all the way around this one. Turn it around. That is going to go over the top like so. I'm going to hold it down for a couple of seconds so it adheres. Then I'm going to add my dimensionals to the back of this one. And because I'm putting it onto the glimmer paper, I'm going to make sure I've got quite a few of these going round. Normally I would just put 3, but I just want to make sure that it sticks. Okay, so there we go. So we can take that off. Because of all the dimensions, this may be one of the cards you want to hand deliver. So let's put that into there. Lovely. And then our little bird can sit on there. Now you can glue her. What we're going to do, so I'm going to bring her, this back wing up. I'm going to glue this bit, but I'm going to put a dimensional on this one. I was going to use this. I'm not sure if I'm going to pop it, excuse me, pop it down. I think I might just lay it onto there. Quite like that there. Oh, my light's gone out. Just bear with. That was interesting. Apologies. Plunged into darkness. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add tiny bits of glue before I stick my dove down on different leaves, just so it holds it in place. Yep. Here we go. And then down that bit there. Right, let's turn that over. I sort of dived off my dove, didn't I, onto this. I just didn't want to forget to put it on. That was my aim. There we go. So now I've got my flower there. Back to my little flower, back to my dove. So I'm going to put a dimensional on his smaller wing. Okay, so that's going to go there. You might need to, and I do on this one, is to just cut around it so it doesn't show through. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on the other pieces. Okay, there we go. So he will lay flat apart from his wing. Take off the backing. There we go. And he's going to be in flight. He's flat. And then you can stick his top wing down so he looks like he's in flight. I'm going to hold that for a couple of seconds. I didn't put any glue at the bottom, did I? Did I? Did I? No, I didn't. Let's just put a tiny dab there so it doesn't poke through. So let's hold him down. This is the only issue with the glitter. You just need to hold it for a little bit longer so that it takes. Perfect. Right. So that is our very quick and easy, functional, funky fold. So thank you ever so much for joining me in these projects with this 25 project countdown to Christmas. I have thoroughly enjoyed creating it, and I hope you have too. We will be back on Monday with our normal stamp set of the week. So do join me then. And whatever you do, have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye.